Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, it feels like a Friday today because tomorrow the CBOT will be closed. So we'll see how much short covering we see in front of the long holiday weekend. Kind of three factors that I think are popping up in the overnight commodity wires. Number one, the weakness in the dollar because the President of the United States says the dollar is too strong. So every grain comment had that in there as a supportive feature, maybe in the bounce in beans, corn, and wheat off the recent lows. Second thing is the weather here in the United States. Still forecasting wet weather over the next 2 weeks that could slow corn plantings. It's interesting that some of the Asian markets were saying that beans are up because of the wet weather, which doesn't make a lot of sense because if we can't plant the corn, we'll just plant more beans. And then the third thing has to do with the just short covering in front of the long weekend. Funds are short, and we could see a little bit of short covering in that area. The beans are up about 8 cents, around $9.56. When you talk to farmers in the Midwest, it seems like they really don't want to sell beans until they get $10 again for them, so wouldn't expect a lot of cash selling. With the weaker dollar, we'll be watching South America and see if the Brazil farmer and Argentina farmer increase selling on their higher currency. The next thing, as far as corn, they're up about a penny on the May at $3.70. There is probably some selling at $3.80 and $4 on the D's corn. The farmer has a lot of corn to sell, so we'll see if we can inch our way up there and find in some selling there. And the wheat's only up about a penny at $4.34. I think that the export sales this week, beans are expected to be 400 to 600,000 tons versus 482 last week. Corn, 800 to maybe 1 million tons versus 1.1 million tons last week, and wheat 250 to 450 versus 568 last week. On a FOB basis, U.S. soybean prices for June are around $361, Brazil's $364, and Argentina's $350. On a meal side, the June meal for the United States is around $346, Brazil's $320, and Argentina's $322. So you can see, still on the meal side, we're not the cheapest in the world. As far as corn is concerned, U.S. June prices, $162 per ton. Argentina's $159 to $160, and Ukraine's $173. So Ukraine's kind of out of the market right now as far as exports are concerned. And in the wheat, we're looking at $184 for U.S. soft wheat, $198 for U.S. hard wheat, and the Russian wheats are about $158. But we are kind of watching the Matif yesterday, traded higher, both old crop and new crop. Old crop probably because the French lowered their stocks numbers. New crop is because of the continued dryness across parts of southern Europe into Russia and also North Africa. And the Chinese wheat futures market were traded higher, probably in some short covering because of what's going on in the U.S. and as far as the U.S. dollar is concerned. So we may have a little bit of short covering. We'll be watching the dollar. We'll be watching U.S. weather now, and we'll also be watching South America and how much competition they have for our export demand. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day and a good holiday weekend.